Hey Megan.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you
Good.
doing?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
So how is everything going?
Things are good.
Anything new going on or
Just working a lot.
just working still?
Yeah, work.
Is it as crazy as it always was?
It's crazier.
Okay. Well, that's not good.
No, it's not good.
All right. Well, let's see. What brings you in today?
I would like to learn how to eat better. I'm a terrible eater, and because I'm so busy, I make really poor eating decisions like McDonald's drive-thrus. So I feel like it's important for me to learn what to eat, how much to eat, and just to have better options when I'm on the go.
Okay. So let me just make sure we're on the same page
Of course,
here.
yep.
So you think you have horrible eating habits. They might not be as bad as you think.
Okay.
You want to learn better ways to make better choices, not stop at the drive-through.
Yes.
Learn different things that you should eat.
Yep.
And be able to incorporate into your life.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I have all of your paperwork here that you submitted.
Okay.
And I just wanted to go over just a few things.
Sure.
And then I did input all of that into an app called Chronometer, which we'll go into in a little bit.
Okay.
So let's see here, just to get some clarification. Let me see. You don't eat any fruits or vegetables during the day?
Not usually.
Okay.
I like them. I just don't
Okay.
eat them.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
And is that something that you would be open to?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good. And then later on, I do have some handouts that we can go over different vegetables and ways to implement them.
Okay.
Also, you don't eat any grains?
I don't usually do that.
Okay. And is that something that you'd want to or
Yeah,
be
I
open
mean,
to?
I try to eat like lower carbs, so I usually stay away from the grains. I feel like I don't know what to eat when it comes to grains, therefore I feel like hypothetically they're bad for you. I know that they're really not. So I would definitely be open to eating them. I just have to figure out how to do that and incorporate it in my diet.
Okay. We can touch base on ways to implement them and the good grains and so forth.
Okay.
Okay, what else did I have? Let's see. And it says that you don't get exercise daily. However, you did mention that your job is very active. So can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily go to the gym, but I do work as a banquet server. So I usually walk like 20,000 or 25,000 steps when I do work.
Yeah.
So I get exercise in that way, I guess. It's not the same, but it's
No,
a
it's
lot of
still-
movement.
Yeah, that's a lot of heavy movement
Yeah.
going on. All right. So that takes care of that. And then you said that you're willing to try anything, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm always willing to eat something once. I mean, if it's really weird, then probably not. But for the most part, I'm pretty good at just trying whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good news. And it says that you have no problem basically with your water. So you drink a lot of water,
I do
that's
drink
a
a
good
lot of
plus.
water. Yeah, that's the one thing that I've always been like a huge water drinker. I usually drink at least 2 of like my bottles that I have, and they're like 32 ounces. So I at least drink 2 every day at least. Usually it's more than that, but
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Water is important.
Yep.
So let's see what else we have here. Can you just go in a little bit more? It says that you didn't have a good relationship with food, or you like to, not that you like to, but you tend to eat more on the go convenience foods. Can you just
So my mom was like a single parent, so
Okay.
a lot of times, she was busy with both of my brother and I, like bringing us here, there, everywhere, working a lot. So a lot of times we ate like McDonald's, pizza, spaghetti, things that she could make and we could eat like several meals off of. We would have cereal in the morning, just like quick on the go things, not necessarily probably the best or the healthiest. So it's kind of just something that started when I was younger, and I've just continued, I'm a convenience eater. I'll drive in the drive-through, make something that's probably not super healthy for me that will last a couple days. I don't know what to eat, basically. Just to get in all of your nutrients and just like nutritious stuff for your body. I'll just eat whatever. So.
All right. Well, hopefully I have some stuff once we take a look at your 3-day diary and I implemented it, we can go over what are good choices and where, you can make those better choices. And then you get 8 hours of sleep every night. So that's good?
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when I sleep, I sleep. Sometimes, due to my work schedule, I definitely don't get 8 hours, but for however many hours I'm sleeping, I sleep.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sleep's important. So you got water?
Yep.
And water down and sleep. That's really good. And it says that you do have a high amount of stress.
I do.
Can you go into that a little bit?
Basically, my stress is just working a lot, which is like a curse and a blessing. It's great because I'm single, so working 2 jobs allows me to live on my own and just not have to have a roommate, and so that part of it is great, but I'm always on the go. I'm running from one job to the next, and that plays a large part in my bad food choices just because I'm always busy.
Okay. Nope, I can see that. So what I'm gathering is we need to really focus on foods on the go.
Yep, foods on the go.
Foods on the go, preparing foods, what to
I just need to be prepared. If I'm prepared, then I'll make the right decisions. It's when I'm not prepared is the biggest problem that I have.
Okay. And that's something you're willing to work on and ready to change now?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then we do need to, it says you want to get some vitamins going.
Yeah, I do. I feel like I don't eat the proper foods, obviously, so that doesn't give me any nutrients probably. And it's overwhelming. There's so many vitamins and minerals out there, and it's just what do you pick? There's do you pick the pretty bottle? What do you pick? It's a lot.
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah,
it can be very overwhelming. All right. So what I'm gathering is we need to go over ways to implement some more vitamins.
Yep.
You'd also like to find out how to make better food choices, especially on the go.
Yep.
And then being better prepared, meal prepping.
Yeah.
Getting, overall better food choices. Maybe reading food labels a little bit better.
Yeah. And just having a better understanding of what is something that I should put into my body versus what I put into my body.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully once we take a look at all this that I implemented, it'll be a little bit better to understand. All right. So I have your 3-day food diary right here. Let's see. Okay. And I implemented it into this app that's called Chronometer.
Okay.
And Chronometer's fabulous. It's actually one of my favorite tools to be able to track what you eat, or also just to kind of give you a better understanding
of what you're
overall.
Putting in your body.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can download it on your phone. You can use it from the computer.
Okay.
But basically, so this is all of the food for your 3 days.
Okay.
Right up here.
Yep.
And then this is how many you can take a look when you want to pick one day. We can look at right here. How many calories you took in for the day, and then that's how many calories you burned.
Okay.
So just looking at that, is there anything that sticks out to you?
I mean, I'm definitely not eating enough. That's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like you were a little bit low on some things over there.
I mean, it doesn't look like I'm eating enough calories, but in some ways it looks like I'm eating too much.
Too much in one category?
Yeah, too much fat.
Too much fat, it looks like? Okay. Is that something that you would have expected, or is that a surprise?
No.
Not a surprise? No. Okay. And then right down here,
Yep.
this is where the area, it tracks all of your vitamins and nutrients.
Okay.
So on the front right here,
Yep.
and then back here. And I think this is just fabulous because then you can see
Yeah.
exactly what you're low in, what you're hitting,
Yeah.
and then what you need to work on. Is there anything?
I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised how much green there is. Because I wouldn't think like really the foods that I ate, have this much nutrients in them. So I guess it's not terrible.
Okay. No, it's not terrible.
Yeah. So it's not as bad, I guess, as what I thought it would be.
Yeah. I mean, look at, you got well over here in vitamin A.
Yeah.
I mean, I think on most
Yeah.
days you hit well over your vitamin
Yeah,
A.
and that one's not too bad either. Like it's pretty close to hitting it.
And
So I
right
guess that's
here,
good. Yep.
you have your B12
Okay.
that you hit.
Yep.
And then even right there,
Yeah, it's not bad.
you did really good.
I mean, I feel like if I actually ate like what I'm supposed to, it would be much better. But I mean, it's not terrible.
Can you see how, like adding not vitamins, but like vegetables and fruits and a variety of food would?
Yeah, definitely help and just make it so much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I also you had mentioned that you wanted to lose roughly 10 pounds.
Yeah, I would
when we
like
spoke.
I would
the
like
first
to
time?
lose 10 pounds. I feel like when I was 10 pounds lighter, I felt like the most comfortable, just like in my clothes and just like in my overall
Okay.
life, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 pounds would be great.
Okay. So what I did was I went and entered your information into calculator.net,
Okay.
and it gave me a rough BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, at 1355 calories a day.
Okay.
And what that means is that's the minimum calories that your body needs to take in to be able to do normal functions. Like if you just like were to lay down. So like your digestion for your food, your breathing,
Okay.
your blood, cell repair, all the stuff that your body's doing. Like I always like
When
to
you don't
think,
even know.
yeah, that there's like little people in there working,
Yeah.
and trying to help maintain all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
And so that's the minimum that they need to do that.
Okay.
So then I entered in your work activity, because from what it sounds like, you said you were very active
Yeah.
at work.
Yeah, for sure.
And then with that, the calculator.net brought me to a total daily energy expenditure of roughly 2,032.50
Okay.
calories, calories per day.
Okay.
So if you were looking to lose 10 pounds and roughly 1 pound a week,
Okay.
like you had said, then that would be 3,500 calories a week that you would want to be in a deficit. So I
Okay.
just took that number and divided it over 7 days,
Okay.
and it's 500 calories a day, and it roughly brought you down to 1,532 calories per day
Okay.
as like a target.
Like calories every day that
Correct.
I want to eat. Okay.
Yep. And then that would be to lose 1 pound a week.
Okay.
And then once you hit that target,
Yeah.
you could just raise your calories back up to maintenance.
Okay.
At the 2,032, if that's what you
That
wanted.
doesn't seem terrible either.
No, does that sound like something?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I mean, can you see the difference between your calories that you took in
Yeah.
on those days and then the calories that you could be
Yeah, I mean,
allotted to eat?
Yeah, which is great.
All
Because
right.
I feel like I can eat more.
Yeah.
I just have to pick the right foods to eat.
All
more
right.
of. Yeah.
So let's see. Is there anything else that sticks out to you with that?
No, I just feel like I definitely need to eat more calories. I think when you don't get enough calories, that's also not good for your body either, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes.
I got a lot left over.
Yeah, you have room.
Yeah. Okay. I just have to, like I said, figure out the right foods to eat to hit 1,500.
Well, hopefully, we can do that. Let me see over here. All right. So this is for you. You can take it home. I made it a little folder with all kinds of information in there.
Okay, great.
Seeing as though one of your main concerns was convenience and healthy eating on the go.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite protein bars.
Okay.
I like the macronutrient breakdown on here.
Okay.
I also like that it's local. The company's based out of Massachusetts.
Okay, cool.
You can find them at Big Y.
Okay, that's even better.
They're pretty good. And as far as ingredients goes, one thing about reading the food labels. So the first thing on the food label
Yep.
is what's most in the food.
Okay.
And it like goes down from there. So
Okay.
then the last thing would be the least amount that's in that food.
Okay.
This one is grass-fed whey protein.
Okay.
It has 15 grams of protein. It has 1 gram of sugar with no added sugars.
Okay.
The carbohydrates are 22 grams with 12 grams of fiber.
Okay.
And then the fat's 11 grams for a total of 210 calories.
Okay.
This has been like a lifesaver for me.
Okay.
If I'm on the go quickly, I'm at work, I know I'm not going to get a break,
Yeah.
and I haven't ate for hours, this will do the trick.
Okay.
So I got this for you.
Thank you.
You
I
can
appreciate
try,
that. Okay.
and maybe that will work
Will
for you.
help,
Maybe
yeah.
something else,
Something
a
along
different
the
type
lines
of
this.
bar.
Okay.
One thing you want to just pay attention to with the bars is the sugars,
Okay.
because sometimes they can really
Be
creep up on
really
you,
high.
and they
Okay.
like to put that in there.
Okay.
So based on your results from here, I also printed out this little sheet right here
Okay.
that goes into, detail about underfueling. Is there anything that you see on this sheet that sticks out to you that like you feel on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. So when I eat terrible, I feel fatigue. I feel cranky. I usually have a stomach ache. So those are 3 of the main things. And a lot of times, like if I eat something that's not nutritious, I'm hungry,
Okay.
not instantly after, but it doesn't take very long before I'm hungry again. So it just,
Soon after.
yeah. So there's quite a bit on that little chart that happened to me on a daily basis.
So this just tells you the importance of
Eating
kind
nutritious
of eating
things.
nutritiously
Yeah.
and not under eating.
Right.
Which kind of leads us into this because it kind of gives you a visual
Right.
as to all of these choices are 500 calories, but
How much it fills you up.
yeah,
Yeah.
because this right here is 500 calories, but maybe if you're going to be hungry in an hour, which sounds like that could be what's
What
happening to
usually
you.
happens, yeah.
So then once we, fill up our stomachs with nutrient dense and a good variety of food, it'll hold us over,
Yeah.
basically.
And you'll be full for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you won't want to, eat a little while after that.
Which is not good.
Okay. So this I printed out for you because it kind of gives you a visualization as to what you want to put on your plate. Because you mentioned that you need to know what to eat.
Yep.
And better choices to make. So this just gives you, it doesn't give you a list,
Right.
which is what I think a lot of times could be the problem.
Yep.
This just, if you can visualize
Yeah.
how to build your plate. And that's the thing, you want to get vegetables and fruits, grains, proteins,
Yeah.
and dairy. And then that right there will
Make
lead
you
to,
more full.
yep, it'll leave you feeling more full. It'll do the opposite of all this, like you won't have fatigue anymore
Yeah.
or anything like that. Does this look like something that you could?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I feel like I'll put it on my fridge, and every night when I'm cooking myself dinner or, making myself a lunch, I can kind of keep that in mind, and I can kind of like arrange my plate accordingly to what that is.
Okay, that's good. All right, and this I just printed up so it's just from the USDA, and which is where I got this from also.
Okay.
And it just gives you the dietary guidelines for Americans for 2015 to 2020, and just kind of tells you, like it goes over my plate again, so it gives you the visual representation. It kind of gives you like different choices, like to limit, sugar and sodium.
Yeah.
And then over here it tells you under each category, so you can feel like what the daily guidelines are to meet what their the USDA recommends.
Yeah, and I think that's great because it gives you like a really good idea as how much, each thing you need and how much you can eat for that serving. So I think that's good.
So then you think you would be able to find, food options based on all of these?
Yeah, I think this is really helpful, and I feel like sometimes I just need like it black and white. Like I'm not good at figuring it out myself with certain things. Like some things I can figure out just fine, but like with eating, it's just different for me. So I feel like it's kind of just like really just right there. And so I just really need to follow what that says.
Okay.
Which I can definitely do.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we're getting some of your questions answered. All right. This I printed out. It's just a grain. It goes over, because I know you had said that you don't get a lot of grains in your diet. So this just goes over like what a serving of grains looks like. It gives you different options. One important thing that you want to pay attention to when you're buying, grains is you do want to look for whole wheat, whole grain.
Okay.
Stuff like that at the beginning of,
I feel like sometimes there's just so much out there and like it's like overwhelming because you don't know exactly what to get, so that's helpful too.
Yeah, no, and it seems like they just keep coming up with more options.
Yeah.
So it can make it very confusing. And is there anything, there's bread, rice,
I would
cereal.
definitely do like the bread, a slice of bread, or probably the pasta, to be honest with you.
Who doesn't love pasta?
I know. You just got to keep it on a half a cup, which is, I'm sure, not a lot. But it's okay. It's good to have a little bit.
Yeah. And again, you want to be able to eat anything just in moderation.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not about, restricting.
It's not like necessarily, I don't want it to be about what I eat. It's kind of like how much I eat of it too. Like keeping everything in check.
That's very good. All right. And I just printed this up for you, just a little thing on protein, because I know you had mentioned that you do eat a lot of red meat during the week.
I do.
So this just gives you different varieties. Is there anything else that you can think to incorporate, for protein?
No, I think the eggs are a really good thing. I guess I really never thought of an egg as a protein. I don't know, for whatever reason. But peanut butter and it, the more variety that I have, I feel like the better I'll be because I won't get sick and tired of eating the same thing, which is sometimes what happens to me when I eat like too much of the same thing. So that's a good way for me to incorporate protein in different ways into my diet.
Okay, well, that's great. And then this I also printed just to give you the breakdown of the different protein options, chicken, beef, and salmon. And do you notice the difference on this?
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, I don't mind eating chicken. It's probably a much better option than beef. I just have to, figure out different ways to prepare it. So, but I think that that's probably my best path. I don't really like to cook fish in my house. So I'm not, I like fish. I would eat it out or whatever. But so chicken is probably my go-to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even you could do turkey. Okay. Ground turkey, turkey tenderloins. Okay. You could do chicken sausage. Okay. And
that's good too.
Dice that up with vegetables or something.
Yeah.
And even some potatoes and vegetables in there, or you can even put it over pasta.
Okay.
I included this label reading. Okay. The main things you want to look at are, the calories.
Of course.
You want to look at the serving size.
Which is a huge thing for me.
Yes. Sometimes it can be misleading and not really clarify how much a serving size is. You might think you're just getting, one, say, I don't know, a bag of chips. Yep. When there's really, 2 servings in there. When you think you're just having one snack size. Right. So that's something to pay attention to. Also, you want to look at the fat. You want to limit your, fat, especially saturated fat and trans fat. Okay. You want to look at the sodium to see what the sodium content is. The carbohydrates and fiber, ratio, it would be good. Fiber's good. You need fiber in your diet. Yeah. So, any foods that have more fiber. The sugars are a big thing. There's sugars in everything. We don't realize it.
I know.
But they like to sneak it in. And sometimes it's a lot more than you would think. So that's one thing that I pay attention to. Okay. Is sugars. Big. Yep. Okay. I always look at the sugars. Okay. And then just the vitamins and minerals and what they provide. Okay. And then we talked about before, the ingredient list. Yeah. where the lesser the ingredients,
The better.
the better.
Okay.
And then rate the range
Okay.
from top to bottom.
Beginning to end.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So that's really good. And then I printed this to kind of give you, I mean, what do you think you could do with it?
I mean, I feel like it would be a great thing for me to make like a grocery list every week and just kind of follow that and just go off that, just telling me exactly what I need to buy because that's what I need to eat.
Yeah.
You know, versus like a bag of chips or some cookies or, you know, something like that. So I think that's very helpful to just tell me this is what you need to eat this week.
Mhm.
Like, what are you going to eat from that food group?
And it gives you a breakdown, so you're covering all of your
Right.
food bases.
The whole plate.
On the plate, yep. So 2 things you could go probably put on your fridge, maybe?
Fridge, on the fridge.
All right. And I also printed this out for you. It's just a guide because we talked about the vitamins and minerals.
Yep.
So this just goes over, I mean, you can get your vitamins from a supplement, but you can also get them from a lot of foods.
Okay.
And a lot of times we don't realize, or at least I don't realize,
No, I don't either.
like how much vitamins you can get from all this food. So even like whole grain foods, you can get a lot of B vitamins from
Okay.
your whole grains.
Yeah.
And this just goes over, you know, all of them.
Okay.
So,
I
I mean,
think that's great.
is there food on here like that you think you could incorporate
Yeah,
that you don't
definitely.
like that are,
No, I mean, like I said, I'm willing to, you know, kind of just try whatever, but it's helpful to know like what food coincides with what vitamin because then I can actually really kind of decide like once I start tracking my food and the chronometer or whatever you call it, like what do I have and what do I need, and then you can kind of like cross-reference the app with the paper and
Okay.
kind of try to include as much as I can.
that's good.
Yeah.
All right. I did print you out something for fast food,
Okay.
just in case you still want to go there
Okay.
every now and then. Like if you're in a hurry, you find yourself in a pickle.
Yeah.
So this just goes over,
Like
you know,
the best choices.
yep, exactly,
fast food.
the best
Okay.
choices. You know, words to avoid. You know, words to look for.
Yeah.
Roasted, baked.
Yeah.
You know, grilled, steamed.
Right. Nothing that is good in fast food, but no. I
Sometimes
understand.
you can
Yeah. No.
you can find it. I feel like sometimes they try to
Yeah.
like appeal to those people who don't want to necessarily
Eat fast food.
eat fast food.
My
but
whole goal is to just be more prepared, so I don't even have to really do that. I mean,
okay,
I just don't. It makes me feel terrible. You know, it makes me feel sluggish. It gives me a stomach ache. So I'm really going to try very hard to just stay away from it altogether.
okay,
That's my thought.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. This is just another sheet with some on the go snacks.
Okay.
You know, like I saw you were eating sandwiches,
Yep.
so you could. That's a great option with the whole grain bread
Whole
and
grain
some
bread.
lunch meat
Okay.
and cheese and some vegetables you can throw on there.
Okay.
That's a good option to have.
Okay.
Are there any other things that you think?
Yogurt and granola is something that I've always really liked. The nuts and seeds I would definitely eat. I'm not like a really big, I don't like bananas.
Okay.
I've never really found a smoothie that I've liked. I feel like a lot of times they're gritty or they taste weird. So I would rather have something like yogurt and granola
Yeah.
and nuts and seeds and kind of enjoy.
Absolutely.
snack, so.
And you can even pair it with the protein bar.
Okay.
And then eat it, you know, if you're in pickle
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And then I printed this out for stress, just like ways to like unwind.
Just calm it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you had mentioned you
Yeah, I have a
are
lot
working a
going
ton
on. Yeah.
and you have a high amount of stress.
Yeah.
So just like, you know,
I like call a friend to talk it out. That's cute.
I know.
No, I mean, it's helpful to see it, you know, like when I see these, like, it's like, oh yeah, that's like really obvious. But when you're in it, you don't really think of that. So I feel like this is a good handout to just like, kind of just like, it's another visual, like, this is what you can do, like,
Yeah.
to help you.
To
So that's
get
great
you
too.
remembering. One thing that works for me a lot is the deep breaths.
Yeah.
Maybe not 10 deep breaths,
Right.
but
We just got to stop.
you just like stop and just take a few like really deep breaths. You can feel that,
Yeah.
even if it's for just a few seconds that you're calm.
Yeah.
It does kind of
It
bring you
helps
down a
out.
little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right. Well, this is all for you
Thank you.
to take home with you.
Awesome.
And let me see. I think we've covered everything.
Okay.
Let me just see. Are you I'm trying to think. Actually, I did want to talk to you about your eating for one. You
Okay.
mentioned that was
That is like my biggest hurdle. When I was married, you know, I would cook these huge dinners or huge lunches or, you know, just a ton of food. And I feel like sometimes because I don't really love leftovers for more than like a day or two,
okay.
it's hard to just cook a little bit for one person. So I think I just really need to figure out like, you know, what I can eat for a couple of days that's healthy and kind of just, I guess, meal prep several times a week just because I don't want to eat the same thing all week.
Okay.
So I think that that's been my biggest struggle.
All right.
Figuring out what to eat for one person.
So that can be hard.
Yeah.
Finding one person. I will say I looked on some online recipe, you know, websites.
Okay.
And a lot of times they have the default to 4.
Okay.
You can change it to 2.
Okay.
And then 2, I mean, cooking for 2 is a lot easier than cooking for 1
Right.
or cooking for 4.
Right.
And then it might give you an option to have a leftover.
Yeah. Just one. Like
Yeah.
what I want.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then that sounds like something that you
That
could
sounds like it would work a lot better for me.
you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't
so
mind cooking. Like I like to cook. It's just like sometimes it's just too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
No, and I can
and it's
understand that.
wasteful.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you might only need, you know, a half a pepper.
Right.
And then you're not going to eat the other half.
Right. And I think I just have to utilize, like, just like you said, like, okay, if I'm going to have 1 pepper and we'll use half, I need to find a recipe that I can use the other half for, maybe in a couple days or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So I think that's all for today. We, you know, talked about, you know, the eating for one. We
Yeah.
talked about your meal prepping. You know, healthier eating on the go,
Yeah.
giving you better options.
Better options, yeah. I
you
think the handouts will really be helpful to me because it actually shows me. Like, I feel like sometimes I just need a guide, and I think that that's going to be, like, crucial to my, you know, just figuring out, like, what my body needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Do you have any other questions?
I think that's it.
And if you need anything afterwards, like I'm always here to help guide you
Okay.
along the way.
I
and any
appreciate that.
questions.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
well,
so
thank you so
much.
much for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great night.
You too.